February air, a winter's hush. A different kind of love, a sacred rush. For the roses is all the fleeting glance, before the scales and a fighting chance. We're the phoenix nesters watching from the wire, seeing shadows fall, fueling the fire. Every story buried, every silent tear. Here comes a promise whispered, conquering the fear. Oh, Lady Justice, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth deflected in our eyes. We're turning the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. They sold you a story, a neatly packaged lie, but the threads are unraveling under a watchful sky. From the cold case files to the digital trace, we're finding a heartbeat in this forgotten space. Oh, Lady Taro space, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. Return the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifting, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. Shift to arise, pure justice. But Lady Justice.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. So in between my live this morning and just recently when I got off the live, there had been a Amber Alert for a missing little 3-year-old girl in my local area, and I did share that. And I wanted to just jump on here live, so thanks for joining me today. And this is just going to be a special live, and I'm going to be talking about these missing cases in Arizona, which is of concern because there is a lot of conflicting information in regards currently these two cases right now. And I'm going to get into them. So welcome back. And this is kind of like an impromptu live. Ooh, we got hiccups live. So one thing I want to share with you is this is going to be like a live dig kind of type live. And there is a missing child in Arizona. I just said 3-year-old. You can go right to the website at Amber Alerts. There is one. I did a video and I will play that video in a minute. But you can always go to Amber Alerts Missing and Exploiting. That's the National Center for Missing and Exploiting Children. And I've had my child missing. I've had 1-800 number, kids involved. I've had agencies involved and private detectives to find my son. So That was in 2012. So I want to let you know that there is a resource to go and find information for yourself. And since we're talking about these two missing cases, I think it's really important, especially this one with the 3-year-old. A 3-year-old that cannot get herself food, nor pay rent, nor do any of those things for herself. And this 3-year-old was missing from Avondale, Arizona. Beautiful little girl, last seen wearing pink pajamas and braids. Now, here's where the information gets convoluted and misinformation gets out there. This official National Center for Exploiting and Missing Children said that February 20th, just last night at 11 p.m., she was last seen in her home at 118th Avenue and Edgemont Avenue. That is in Avondale, Arizona, which is right outside of Phoenix. She was last seen wearing pink pajamas with braids at 11:30. And she was last seen with a female known as Morena, who is a white female, and obviously described as short, thin build, brown hair, hazel eyes, wearing a white shirt and a pink or purple pants and a ponytail. There is no picture, as you can see, where it says associated companions. Nothing. No picture, no photo available of the suspect, and no vehicle information. This is really going to be hard unless they give us an update or new information. Now, there is obviously the Amber Alert that I showed you that you can get to that page easily. There are some other Amber Alerts in Idaho and California. They look like related family members in two of those other Amber Alerts. There are missing posters that you can get. You can search missing posters in your area. This is always a great time for a PSA. You can make a cyber tip that's just going right to there, and then you can look at the other Amber Alerts. Now, here's the problem. Arizona has shared this with anything public. Arizona feeds into the National Exploited Missing Network. Now, when you have the Department of Arizona Safety reporting two different things, that she was last seen Saturday at 4:30 in the morning, 04:30 is morning time, and that is the night before. That is, early morning. So, which one do we believe? I don't know. All I know is this child has been missing almost more than 12 hours, and tonight it will be 24 hours. And this is the most critical time ever. Most critical time. So if you've just joined me, click the thumbs up button, because this information needs to be shared. No matter, regardless what the time is, this 3-year-old is missing and she needs to be found ASAP. The last update was at 12 o'clock. And let me just screenshot this for my repository, because this is important. When you see things like this that don't jive, something's up. Either this person has truly been abducted, and I don't want to say the later because speculative, of course. Always call 911. I hope the family is not involved. Now, I'll go to this other case real quick. Please make sure that people know about these resources to go and look themselves. There's been no update in regards to the 3-year-old missing child. And I wanted that to be very clear. That is out there in the internet so people can be on the lookout. Anywhere up and down, you know, Chandler. I mean, who knows? From this area in I-10, they could be anywhere in Arizona or out of the state. I mean, 4 hours to California. Abducted children are taken several routes. 10 goes all the way into Wickenburg, California. It goes all the way into, Bullhead City, Kingman. There's like 4 or 5 different routes down 8 to Mexicali to Mexico. I mean, it's rotten to think about it that way. You can go right into Avondale, Buckeye, all the way over into Mesa, all the way into Gilbert. I mean, just sad. Very sad. And here is a map of it just so you kind of have an idea. So if she was missing from Avondale is right here, and you can see the area. And then all the way, Buckeye is going back 10. 10 will go all the way into California, into that area, all the way down San Diego. You can go down, Chandler into 8 into Mexicali, or going that way to Flagstaff is another way up 17, but going this way into 40 and then going all the way out Albuquerque. These are main roads of trafficking, unfortunately. And a 3-year-old cannot help herself. Now, let's get into the Nancy Guthrie case. And this is really hard information to share. Okay. I know I made some videos, but NamUs database is a database for searchers and law enforcement. If they come across a body, they can cross-reference it in the missing person database. And at this point, them entering her into this database on February 9th, and the last date of contact, they said that she went missing on the 1st. The last date of contact was actually January 31st, 2026. The last location known is usually they use a map and they use specific details. So I don't know why they coded it this, but this is Catalina Foothills, Arizona, which they believe she was at. And that is the actual coordinates. Well, sorry, this is the actual coordinates that she was last seen at in the Catalina Foothills. Now, if I take this and I go and try to map this and I do directions to her address, which is obviously shared already. We know many people are there on scene live. And we know that her address has spiked, right, in the Catalina area. So if I just put Tucson, Arizona, I want to see how accurate 5820 Escalante in Tucson is. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the address, and I'm going to say, give me directions to this point. Now, here's the deal. And you probably have never heard of this before. They have tagged Nancy in NamUs, the last known location that I just showed you is some Sunny Haven Animal Farm sanctuary. Now, you might be hearing this for the first time. I don't think anybody has shared this information. I was going to make a video, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go live and see how accurate they have told us this information. So the last place that has been tagged in NamUs is Sunny Haven Animal Farm Sanctuary. If you know of someone that needs to hear this, let them know. That is 9 minutes away from her actual address at 5820 North Camino Escalante. Okay, now I don't know how accurate this is in NamUs, but this is what it has said. Everyone can go do this. Everyone can go do this on their own. The last known location map per the authorities is the map that I just shared with you, and that says it is something totally different than her house. You can go and do directions. You can go and do exactly what I just said. Okay? Take the longitude and latitude, take it, the starting point from what they've said, and it maps somewhere different. I don't know why they've shared that. So, this accurate information is out there. Okay? This was where she was last seen. There is a resort right next to it. It's Hacienda del Sol Guest Ranch Resort. Did they go to a resort? I don't know. Or, per the authorities, was it Sunny Haven Animal Farm Sanctuary? Was there somebody who worked there or lived there that knows? This is the street view. This is the street view of the animal farm right in the area. All this is public information and you can go check it out. I mean, maybe have JLR or somebody go over there and check this out, because this is what NamUs has said, the official place that she was last at per NamUs. You know, maybe you guys can get this. Let me see if he's live right now. Let me see if there's any way that you can get this over to them. JLR live. Let me see if he's live. I don't think I've seen him live today. Hold on. Yep, he's live. Let's see what he's doing. All right. I almost went out there today. My husband said, no, not today. Let's see. Any updates? I know they partitioned off and set up all that to keep it separate. Not much is going on out there. Let me tell them to go look at anyone checked it. Let me see if anybody's checked Sunny Haven Animal Sanctuary.
Yeah.
That looks like the Channel 12 news.
I just don't want to hand that way that much. Sure. So I'll walk out, kind of like. Yeah, no worries.
I put per NamUs. She was last seen at Sunny Haven Animal Farm per NamUs. NamUs. So let's see if anybody pays attention to what I just put in there. Again, this is where it says she was at, last seen, and this is her home. They left her phone, and let's see what this guy's saying now.
Mark and Curry Baker, good evening. So the County Sheriff's Department says these barricades have been set up to
The barricades.
area easier to access for people who live here in this neighborhood, as well as public service vehicles to get around the area. I want to take a step out.
I guess they're just filming about the change in road closures and all that other stuff, because you know what? The neighbors were complaining.
I know. You might not need it at 6.
And I'm just going to do a search real quick of what is this Sunny Haven Animal Sanctuary.
Roughly. Today. Yeah.
Charity and tax deductible.
Also, yes, they made it a one-way. Yeah.
Located in Tucson.
And then at the end of my head, they have a quick Q&A where they're going to ask me,
Here is the owner and founder. They have a little bit on their website. Okay, and there's some information on that. But that is where it says that she was last located per the authorities. I mean, what do you think about that? If the news and the outlets are telling us one thing, and the obviously Nanos is saying another, I went back to his second news conference, and I want to show you what he said. I want to show you exactly what Sheriff Nano said. You know, I like to go back to the beginning and listen what Sheriff Nanos was saying. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. A Freudian slip? Maybe, I don't know. Let me just grab this. He says Saturday night he was on scene. Saturday night on scene at Nancy's house. What the heck? Let me grab it. Here it goes.
That they understand this area is in the southwest portion of Tucson, basically the Cardinal, Valencia, or just west of that mark area. I think it's 4,500 West Jeffries in that block or that neighborhood. I'll start by giving you a quick rundown. First of all, probably foremost, most importantly anyway, is our deputy, and I don't know if you've been given his information, but you will get that today, is Agustin Gonzalez, badge 1428. He is doing fine. He was released very early this morning from Banner. We want to thank Banner for their care and their treatment of our...
Now, that was the guy who was shot. It was a deputy chased him.
Our deputy chased him. In chasing them, he didn't realize...
Oh, shoot. I got the wrong video. I was looking at his past news conferences. Hold on. Let me grab the current one where he says this. Nancy Guthrie. I should have teed it up. Sorry. Nanos. Where is his second news conference? Give me 1 second. When was the second news conference? It was February. Was it 6 days ago? 2 weeks ago? No, hold on. Let me see if it's this one. Shoot. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab it. Hold on.
I can tell you exactly.
And we are live. I was live on the TikTok. What did I do with that? Dang it. God, I hate when that happens. I should have teed it up for you guys. Sorry. Where did I see it? It was a doozy for me. When I heard it, I had to play it again. And it was wild. Let me grab it real quick. Where did you go? Okay, here's the timeline. They did find bloody gloves and this is insane. I've got the audio. Let me play the audio. See if you can hear this.
At that time, but it really is about getting our partners out there. Those at that time, but it really...
And listen to the...
Probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time, but it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night.
When they first went to that scene Saturday night. Now, this was his second interview, his second news conference. I want to find that real quick. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I want to put it up here so you can actually see the video. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I had it saved on audio. Was it 2 weeks ago? Hold on, let me look at these details because some of this stuff has already been scrubbed, y'all. see if there was a press conference. Let's see. Sheriff Nanos was standing at the podium. Let's see if I could find this one. This was 3 days ago. This was 6 days ago. And that was a week ago. This was 2 weeks ago. This has got to be 2 weeks ago. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go to YouTube. I'm not finding anything on the local news. Conference press. I wish they had their own. This was 2 weeks ago. Okay, I think it's this one. Let's watch it. There is so much discrepancy between these two reported cases.
Search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure. I want to clarify some things that I may have already told them with the blood at the front door. The doorbell camera, it was removed. We know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home is just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night. That's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves. And more importantly, it's just, we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things.
Okay, so what I shared earlier was from NamUs. You go in and you actually see the last place that she was seen. Law enforcement is the only agency that can put this person in this database. And this makes it easy when someone has been missing and they may think they may come across their body and they need to match. That is what this database is for, unfortunately. So they have put the last known location simply as what I shared with you earlier, and we mapped it. And the last known location in NamUs is this farm, this Sunny Haven Animal Farm Sanctuary. I don't know. I'll click on it, and this is what it shows. Sunny Haven Animal Farm. This is something the authorities put in the system. If she was missing from 5820 North Camino Escalante, where her address is, they would have put that address. Now, I don't know why this says a different address. I don't know why. I'm just sharing this with you. Okay? Hey, Amanda B., thanks for coming on. Yeah, I don't get why they are saying that it was Sunny Haven Farm Animal Sanctuary. That is the absolute coordinates that pull up in NamUs. Those are the exact coordinates. 100%. You see that her house is 9 miles away from here. 9 miles. I don't know why they're not, if this is part of the case, they're being very quiet. And right next to that is an empty lot and some, what is it? Some Hacienda del Sol Guest Ranch and Resort Spa. This is the spa right next to there. And we can go and look at the spa. And that's where it is, this spa, which is in the middle of nowhere. So has anybody thought about maybe telling them to go and look at the spa area, or maybe even the place that they marked her last seen at, last known location, which would be Sunny Haven Animal Sanctuary? I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but this is exactly what the authorities have put in the database right here on this map. Right here on the map. They have listed the FBI here. They have said that she was missing by family members on the 1st, but she was last seen on January 31st at approximately 21:48, which is 9:48. I don't know why they put 9:45. That must be a typo too. Screenshot that. I mean, we're depending on law enforcement to give accurate information. And someone said that her medicine was inside the mailbox. What was that about? I just flipped back over to JLR. They're just keeping everybody off one side of the street. Crazy. They're out there filming. No updates have been given by the Pima County Sheriff's Office. Nothing new. And if you go to Pima County Sheriff's Office in regards to missing Nancy Guthrie, you're going to get a different story. So Pima County Sheriff's Office, hold on a minute, I'll pull this up. And I will show you what was put in the system for her.
Watching the
And
world
anyone can research this. Anyone can go to their website. Anyone can go directly to missing people and get this information, but that's not what we're being told. So what is really going on? I mean, the sheriff is under the microscope. Is this a hit piece on sheriffs? I mean, what in the world is going on in regards to this Nancy Guthrie case? Nothing is making sense. There's a big, huge reward if anybody finds her. Huge reward. So, I mean, you can go right into the missing persons case, see what else is going on. Why did they say she was last seen there? Who knows? It's crazy. It's absolutely wild. I mean, what questions do you have? I can give you all the other resources that you need to find people, find out accurate information. But these tools are available to every single person to verify truth, to verify what you're seeing. I hope they definitely find Nancy Guthrie. I hope they find this missing little girl ASAP. There's no update on either of them today. There's no news press conference. I called Pima County Sheriff. They have no intention to give a press conference, and not probably until Monday or Tuesday. You can call their media advisor there. They'll give you all that information, but no update at all yet. So do me a favor. I wish I was there. Yeah, I was thinking about going down there, but I don't want to be a nuisance and get in the way when they are trying to do things. There is some activity going on over here. People are coming and going. They did move the location. Somebody FOIA'd why they're moving the location. Some people have speculated it's to get the press out of there. Neighbors are not happy with what's going on down there. I want to know why they just found new DNA evidence. There were gloves that were found 9 days ago with blood on them 2 miles away. So if I'm accurately sharing the last place that they saw her They said it was 2 miles. Okay. This is what NamUs gave us, the last place that she was located and the actual route to her house. I just shared that with you. If you take that and you Google the location to her house, this is where it says she was. Her house is all the way over here at 5820. If you go 2 miles, I mean, that's 3.4 miles. If they were found on anywhere on Sunset Ridge Drive in La Paloma, Catalina foothills, you would see this. Okay. Going along, I don't know where those gloves were found, but let me show you where. Hold on a minute. Let me grab it. Let me show you the video where 9 days ago they were actually found. Hold on a minute. These were found 9 days ago. Okay, hold on one second. Let me grab it. Where is that girl again? I thought I liked her. Hold on. I thought I liked her.
It was just us. It was
Lindsay. I know we've had some comments back and forth. Here it is. This was 9 days ago. Let me grab this for you and we'll share this one. She's over on the TikTok streets. Dang it. What did I just do? Hold on. Here we go. All right, let's make sure you can see this. And technical difficulty. Sometimes that happens. Here we go. I'll do it again. Let's see if this works. 28 days ago, yeah. And then they finally released that it was her own DNA at the front, which obviously many of them knew. And now they want to use Othram. Yeah, absolutely. I told you there's a lot of similar stuff going on in this case. A lot of crazy stuff. Here we go.
Nancy Guthrie, and I just heard a new report from News 4 Tucson, who had an exclusive interview with a couple from Tucson who 9 days ago were out driving at night trying to help search for Nancy, and they come across a glove. They got out of the car to check out this glove, and they see that there's blood on the glove. They never touched the glove, but they continued to look around, and they see another glove. Immediately, they called the FBI, but they sat on hold because the tip line was so busy. They then called Pima County Sheriff's Department, who said to leave the gloves where they were, and they would get out there as soon as they could. They couldn't respond immediately, but the couple knew that the rain was coming, and they didn't want to let these gloves and this evidence, this potential evidence, be at risk. These gloves look a lot like the gloves that we saw on the Nest doorbell camera. Luckily, the couple was smart enough to not leave the scene. They called 911, and soon thereafter, law enforcement showed up and took those gloves into evidence. It's now been 9 days since those gloves were taken into evidence, and no one, as far as I know, has reported on the bloody gloves that were recovered within a mile of Nancy's
time saying they found a glove that appeared to have blood on it. So here's a look at the gloves that they shared with us. They say they found them less than a mile from Nancy Guthrie's home last week around 10 p.m. February 11th. And that was the same day investigators later confirmed they had found another glove, the one that we know has now been tested and run through CODIS. The couple who asked not to show their faces tells me they were driving slowly down Campbell with a flashlight as they were helping out the search when they spotted what looked like a black glove. They say a second glove was found less than 10 feet away. They say they did not touch either. They tell me they first called the FBI tip line. They were on hold for 45 minutes. When they got through, they say the FBI took the location. They took their information. They thanked them for the tip, and then they told them they would note it, but could not guarantee someone would respond that night. So then they called the sheriff's department, and they say they were told to leave the gloves in place and that someone would respond. Concerned about rain in the forecast, which we know eventually did come, they say they then called 911. They describe multiple investigators responding very quickly, questioning them, and remaining in that area till about 2 a.m. So now 9 days later, they wonder whether the gloves that you're seeing right here are connected to the ones that we told you that are being tested. The sheriff's department got back to us. They say they cannot confirm at this time whether these specific gloves are part of the evidence. They say detectives and agents have collected multiple gloves from the area, and that analysis is ongoing as part of the investigation. The FBI has not.
Everything's funny. You got nothing to regret.
1 second. I gotta find out
I
where this
give
is
all I
coming
have, honey. If you could stay like that, oh, darling.
from. Okay, they had music playing in the background of that song. So let me show you. She said 1 mile off of Campbell. Okay, that's what the news reporter said. 1 mile off of Campbell. So if we go back, let me share the screen with you so you see what I'm doing. If we go back, Campbell. So where is Campbell? 1 mile from her home, Campbell. And that's still Soul Road, 1 mile. There's no way it could be Campbell River. Nope. Let me see if there's a Campbell Avenue. North Campbell Avenue, Tucson. Nope, that's even further away. 1 mile from her house. So that's got to be, if she's all the way over here, let me go back to this map. Where is a mile back? There is no way. Hold on, let me grab this. There is no way they found Campbell. North Campbell is right here. So North Campbell Avenue. So if they were here, let me do this. Let me exit out of this. Let me put her address in here. Shoot. Hold on a minute. Let me grab it again. Okay, address 5820. Let me grab this. Oh, wow. My husband made me an amazing lunch. Wow. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. I've got turkey sandwich on sourdough. All right. And let me plug this in. And that's Camino Escalante to her address. So how in the world North Camino Escalante, that's her house. So they had to have headed out a mile north to Catalina Foothill. But it said that she was last seen up here. There's the Hacienda del Sol Guest Ranch Resort. How could they have gotten from there to last seen here? And then a mile That's El Camino Marvel. If she's up there, right here, and they were at Campbell, North Campbell, you can't get through here. You can't get through there. That's a dead end. This goes through here, but this goes through here. So if they were a mile from here, that's 2 miles. So half of this would be right here. So their route out of there had to have been, they left this way down the road. If the glove was found somewhere here, this is about a mile. The glove must have been found off of Campbell. That's the only way out of there. Not reporting the music, I think. So if we play their clips, we can get struck. If we play their clips, if there's copyrights on them, yes. Okay, so whoever discarded these gloves, if 9 days ago that it was reported that they found it off North Campbell Avenue, everyone should be searching along this route, right? Because if there was 2 sets of gloves or 4 sets of gloves, whatever, and those gloves were said to have blood on them, they went out this way, and I guarantee you they took the highway, probably 10. You could hit 10 and go all the way up. All the way up Buckeye and over to California or Colorado. I mean, it's possible, or they're still in the local area. Maybe still in the local area. So they left her house going this way, going out this way, at the light, or the stop sign here. That's Camino. They went this way. No, they didn't. Sorry, I'm backwards. They went down this way, down this road, all the way out this road. They had to have been familiar with this area, guys. They had to have been familiar. I mean, think about it. If you go all the way out this way and you get here, that's a dead end, right? Isn't that what it says? What does it say? That's a house. You got to go all the way back out. And then down Campbell. You have to go by a lot of houses here. And then this would be Campbell. Okay? Now you're lost. What happened? The same Enton, Brian asked how he was arrested. Nah, hard pass. Oh gosh, yeah, I agree. Enton will be a Q&A at 8 p.m. So I guess 8 p.m. if anyone's interested. Interesting. Okay, so the couple that they said that they found the gloves and they interviewed, they said they found a mile off of Campbell. So if I'm going this way, they must have found them around here. A mile in this area. Now, I'm going to go back real quick. Tucson News 4. Tucson News 4. And I'm going to see if that's exactly where that news reporter was standing. Let me see. News 4. This was 9 days ago. This is crazy, folks. But if she was actually at the location that I saw that says on Namus, they could have went out a different way. But I think somebody may have put this in the database wrong. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's wrong. But maybe they know something they're not sharing with us. Her house was 9 miles away. You'd have to take this to get all the way to Campbell. You can go Skyline or North Campbell is here. Let me see. This was updated 14 minutes ago. Hold on, let me share this one. Let's see if this one will play. Gloves found by a neighbor.
And we have been telling you about gloves discovered around the Guthrie home. At one point, the sheriff's department telling us there were as many as 16, similar, though, to ones that were seen worn by the suspect. That involved one particular glove. Now, in Guthrie's doorbell camera footage. Now, a local couple says they found gloves, and one they believe appeared to have blood on it, and have not heard anything since reporting. It was 9 days ago when that happened, and News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia spoke with them exclusively.
The couple that found the gloves tells me what immediately stood out is that it appeared that one of the gloves had blood on it. And they tell me that they found the gloves less than a mile from Nancy Guthrie's house as soon as you turn out of the neighborhood. The couple tells me that they felt compelled to help in the search because they're from the area, and they started driving slowly down Campbell Avenue while shining a bright flashlight out the window that looked like a black glove.
Okay, so let's look at this real quick. So this is the picture, and it looks like they were driving. And how could they have seen that from the road? Is that on the right or the left? Maybe it had to have been the passenger, and the passenger suspect threw it out the window.
Because they're from the area, and they started driving slowly down Campbell Avenue while shining a bright flashlight out the window as they're familiar with the area. And that's when they say they spotted something that looked like a black glove.
It also appeared to look like it had blood on it. There was two different.
And it looks like it was on the right side. So let's say that one suspect, I've always thought there was more than one, threw out the glove on the road, exiting the area just like I just showed you on the map, this one. So exiting that subdivision right here. Exiting the subdivision. So it was a mile back, and that would be, yep. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, I mean, when I see things like that, that makes sense.
Colors, and the blood was more towards like the wrist side of the glove, and on the point of your finger, it looked like it was ripped. So it didn't just look like a regular glove. It looked like this was a glove used for something that could have possibly been what they were looking for.
They say less than 10 feet away from that glove, they spotted.
That's right there, 10 feet away.
Another glove. So 2 total. They say they did not touch either glove. Instead, they began making phone calls. They tell me they first tried to call the FBI tip line and were on hold for about 45 minutes. When they finally got through, the FBI took the information and location. They said, thank you for the tip, and they will note it, and that they could not guarantee they would be sending anybody out that night. And then they called the sheriff's department. They say they were told to leave the glove in place and that someone would respond.
And also in front of the glove, we noticed like what appeared to be like a blood drop on a rock. And so underneath the glove was like dried looking blood or something, you know.
But we didn't move it or touch it. So we immediately were like, we have to do something.
And concerned about the range in the forecast, which we do know the rain ended up coming, they called 911 and they say multiple investigators came out fairly quickly. All this happened around 10 p.m. They say they were questioned by those investigators until 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, 9 days later, they wonder if the gloves that they found were submitted for DNA testing. So we did reach out to the FBI as well as the Sheriff's Department. The FBI did not get back to us, but I did speak with Sheriff Chris Nanos on the phone, who tells me if those gloves were submitted for evidence, chances are they were submitted for DNA testing. In the foothills, I'm Monica Garcia. Back to you.
Same reporter, just a different take, just a different reporting. That is wild. So let's go back over to JR real quick and let's see what's going on over there.
It's like just every other. It looks like it doesn't even. You can't even see this at night.
No. I mean, there's a lot of other houses that look a lot more.
Well, they say as much as this house is worth
like
$1 million, it's one of the cheaper homes in the neighborhood.
I believe it. Yeah.
Maybe he's
There's
on
other
mute.
ones that are way more valuable, double the price.
Yeah.
So, like,
that reporter, he might be on mute. That
we have some
reporter
rando
is.
person.
Can you guys hear that?
Somebody that done the research. I mean, because the internet. Here's also the
Type of one if you can hear.
The internet allows sleuths or anyone to dig in on
Neighbors
anyone.
out
You don't even have to
walking
know
their
them. You can find out
dogs.
anything about anybody with all the databases,
That chat is
tax
moving
records.
so fast.
You can find out about anybody.
That's a cute
So
dog.
There's
Hey,
might be
baby.
psychopaths out there that just literally just
I wonder if
did the research.
anyone
on her,
will go and check out
knew
that
they were looking at
area.
her,
But
and then-
obviously,
I'm interested
Campbell
to know
Road.
Whoever it was, if this is true, whoever it was that Googled her address numerous times.
That's
and
the
days
talk.
in
Yeah,
advance.
that's the talk
You know?
too.
That's where I do.
is how they exited. And if they were
Can you really
going down
determine?
Campbell,
Because Google is just
I wonder.
a search engine. Can they
Obviously,
say, hey,
the authorities
I want
already
to know
know
everyone
this
that Googled this name and these dates? Can they have
because
that ability?
if they were going down Campbell, got some new houses they're building down there. 25850. There's a hotel down here. It's not very well populated out that way either. It's not. So, St. Philip's Episcopal Church, isn't that where she went to church? They would have to drive right by that church. Yeah, I have him on mute.
She's never going to be found. First time I really heard that theory, but is it possible she never gets found
Sure.
ever?
I suppose.
Or someone never get caught, never found, or maybe never found, but still caught, but body never found.
I think that would be possible if there was one person alone involved. But I think there's
If there's co-defendants and co-conspirators, somebody talks.
Somebody
Somebody
talks,
messes
yeah.
up on something else. And
somebody had to drive up here.
Where's the surveillance?
Yeah.
Got more people laying flowers out here.
Yeah.
People come. You guys laid your
Okay, so here's the deal. I put him on mute, but I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go back to this, okay? Because here's the deal. She was doing online church. Okay, cool. I did not know that. So here's the deal. Here's the travel way out. If that was the glove and blood and they threw it out the window, okay? Let's just agree that this is factually how they escaped the route, okay? Now, if they did turn down that way, in fact, is it a possibility that you see as they exit this area? Let me go down a little bit further. This is Campbell, and this is the exit. And they turn and they go down the road to a little bit more populated area, and they exit. Where are the cameras at all these other locations that they get to, right? because this is the first populated area that they probably drive by, right? And then there's Trader Joe's. There's all these other places that would have security cameras. So why can't they find where they went down, which way they went? Either way, whatever way they go, there's a Sam's Club this way down 77. And if they did go to 10, they would cut down by the auto mall. I know that for sure. And then they would hit 10. Because anytime I go to Tucson, that's the route I go. Because it's an easy, quick on to 10. And then you're gone. You're back wherever you need to go. You go Highway 10 all the way back wherever you want to go. I mean, where is all the footage between this exit? Where's the neighbor's cameras? Between this exit and then heading down and getting out of there, where's the cameras? There's cameras all around. Okay, there's probably cameras at all these businesses everywhere. I mean, seriously, which way were they headed? And if the FBI, which we know they do, they have car information, folks. Don't think they don't. They know what these people were driving. If they went out the front, if they went out the back, they probably would have been waiting somewhere. And I'll show you. That was my original thought. If they were anywhere, let me grab this. If they were anywhere at Nancy Guthrie's place, in the back of this area, let me see if I can get to it from here. I don't know how far it'll let me go. It might let me go all the way. There's a wash. It's a loop, right? It's a loop. More people's houses. It's a cul-de-sac. But there is an area on the other side back here. It won't let me go in the brush. Dang it. I can't get an aerial view either. And this was updated 2023, so it's not up to date. But if they did leave and they were at Campbell and the gloves were found less than a mile, that makes sense. So they had to have had some type of other cameras on this main strip. They had to have. Either Ring cameras, and remember, the way that some of these places are hidden, they don't have a clear view of the road. But if you continue to go down the road, right? That's a Wi-Fi tower. It's a cell tower. You're going to have other ways to track the individuals that were possibly picked up at her home. Definitely. There's going to be ways to get out of here and be seen on any of these places, no matter which way they went. So I don't know why they haven't released more information. Obviously, all these businesses over here would have more information. Depending on what route they went, they would obviously need gas. There would be a gas. There's Campbell, businesses, banks, all these businesses here. They would have to have more information. So why are they having everybody talk about this if they already know? The sheriff said they were there Saturday night. I showed you in regards to Namis. They put it in on February 9th. They probably knew that she wasn't probably going to make it, in my humble opinion, if they didn't pay the ransom. The date of last contact was the 31st. That was with her family. That they reported her missing on the February 1st, 2026. And the last time they had seen her was at her residence. So who saw her at the residence? Who were the last people known? Last people. Personal belongings included her cell phone and purse that were left behind at the residence. She has multiple medical conditions and may place her at increased risk. Okay, we know this now. So as JLR is reporting locally, there's so many other YouTubers. There's people bringing flowers, people that have been delivering flowers, all this hoopla over what I just showed you that no one is really looking at. Everyone is believing the media again. But not only are they believing the media, have you heard anything from these YouTubers? Have they dug into what I just showed you? Yes or no? Because this is what real people do. Not looking for clicks, likes, and views. This is what you go and verify. This is what you report on. Nancy was last seen by her family Saturday night at her residence. How did they see her and who saw her at her residence? They didn't report her till missing till the next morning. Just like this other little girl was reported missing. The time is different than what the authorities are sharing. So that's valuable information into an investigation. When someone says they're cleared, that doesn't really mean they are literally cleared. Okay? In an investigation, they never clear anyone until they have concrete evidence so they can charge someone. Now, the FBI did gather their DNA from the gloves, allegedly, and has told us that there is nothing in CODIS, and the DNA was her own blood. That's what was said. And I don't know if that was an official report, but let me grab this real quick. I know I saw a DNA match. Let me grab this video and I'll play this. Now, this is mainstream news.
Gliotti. He continues to report out of Tucson, Arizona. Jonathan, good morning. We started the show by saying that some of the leads yesterday didn't
that DNA tested, analyzed, put up into a database by the FBI. It has not yielded a name. There is critical DNA, we are told, that was pulled from the crime scene itself. Foreign DNA, according to the sheriff. It has been submitted in Florida, but it has yet to be analyzed at this point, according to several sources.
So they sent it to a lab in Florida, FBI lab in Florida. Let's see where they're sending this to. FBI lab in Florida. Top secret Florida lab working on Nancy Guthrie's DNA. Inside scoop. And that is scientist at DNA Labs International. Scientist at DNA Labs International. And I'm just doing a live dig on this case, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the likes up. Hit the thumbs up button if you want. So, Scientist Lab International. Let's see what we get. More than a lab. DNA Labs International. Forensic community since 2024. Oh, I like her nails. FIGG testing. Oh my God. Not another lab. Possible contact DNA genealogy research. Not another Othram. What the frick? Holy shit. You got to be kidding me. How many other DNA labs are doing what Othram does? Okay? They're doing the STR mix. They're doing rapid DNA. They're doing unidentified. They're doing genealogy research. It was a lab decided by the sheriff, I thought. If FBI, it would go to Quantico. No, it doesn't say that. Doesn't say that one bit. It says, based inconspicuously in a quiet building in Florida, one private and secretive laboratory has the power to make and break some of the biggest criminal cases in the country. This should be known by everyone that criminal profiling is taking place in 2026, obviously started in 2022. And Idaho 4 was the first case. What the frick is going on in our government? Whew. Scientists at DNA Labs International in Deerfield Beach take blood, bones, skin cells, and even trace genetic material shipped into them from law enforcement agencies and around the country to identify suspects, clear the innocent, and solve crimes that once seemed impossible. This cannot be true. Trace DNA cannot override blood DNA. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And this is them. They do STR mix genealogy research, STR and YSTRs, and FGG testing. Oh, what are we walking into? We, the people, need to know what's happening. This criminal policing this could be me or you sitting behind bars one day because we touched something and it went to a crime scene. I have showed you guys before. This lab is doing this exactly like Othram. They must contract with the FBI. Again, the FBI got invested in this case. Forensic investigative genetic genealogy without a CODIS identification, FIGG. Forensics investigative genetic genealogy. Oh my God. I am sickened. 100%. Holy moly. I could make a million videos. I could do 1,000 lives, and no one will ever comprehend the way I do genetic anything. That was my specialty when I was a naturopathic, classically trained traditional doctor. And I will tell you, this is dangerous. This is dangerous investigative, because here's the deal. They could come back and say, okay, it belongs in this line. You're looking for a white or Hispanic or African American individual, and you're looking for somebody with X, Y, and Z. And yeah, it could be 20 people. And then they decide we're going to pick this person. With here's the key word. Oh, I'm livid. I'm shaking right now. This is the key word that is scary. Investigative. Now, if you have an individual that is assigned to a case that's not a great investigator, they have quotas, I'm sure. They have to get cases cleared off their desk. They have to do whatever they got to do to get a case solved. I want to make rank. I want a promotion. I found the guy. Look at Brian Koberger. This should be the face. This should be the poster child of what I have always said. Don't get Kobergered. And someone took my phrase. That's okay. That's okay. I can prove I use that phrase. This is the face that we all should be plastering all over the internet. Don't get Kobergered. Y'all, don't. Don't believe everything you see on TV. I mean, this should be plastered all over the internet. Don't get Kobergered. Protect your DNA. Protect it. Like, wear gloves everywhere you go. Wear a mask. Don't leave any trace DNA. Isn't that what we were doing during COVID? They wanted us to cover up everything. Is that what this is all about? Put gloves on, put a mask on. At first, I thought it was because they wanted to scan everybody's iris, right? Holy moly. Is this what cover yourself, get protected is? I can't believe this stuff. I mean, we're looking right at it in our faces, up in your grill, possibly just, oh man, I've just gotten sickened. sickened by this whole thing. I mean, fake investigative grouping. Yeah, I have to leave that up there. I'd have to say, I agree, Caleb. Thank God we're logical to think about this. Thank God. If we weren't, and we weren't looking at the bigger picture, I'm so happy to know you guys, because this scoop was just the other day. It says inside the top secret lab working to find Nancy Guthrie's abductor. So now we have this lab, we have DNI labs, we have Othram labs doing this. We have, and this was who that shared? Oh, Daily Mail shared this. Daily Mail. I should have guessed. The same people in bed with all the other. Oh my God. Wow. Holy wowzers. All right, let's do this. I know there's only a few of us here that believe this, that see this. I mean, come on, guys. I'm going to show you an image, and it's going to blow you away. I'll show you an image, and you tell me what you think. This came from the e-files. You know what I'm talking about, right? This came from the e-files, folks. Do me a favor. I've said this before. This guy is not who you think he is. I'm going to zoom in a little closer to his shirt. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little closer to his shirt yet again with another picture I have. And never believe what you're being used. Rubber gloves, a whole new meaning. Yeah. Never believe what you think you're told. Go look for yourselves. Okay. There is no, I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll do it on live. There is no, let me grab Google Lens. There is nowhere you can buy this shirt. These shirts are not for sale. Okay? These shirts are not for sale. Let me just pull this up on the stage. There is no way shirt for sale. There is no way you can buy a shirt like this. So then again, let me grab it. You cannot buy any shirt like this. So don't always believe what you are told in the media. Okay? Always dig for yourself. Always. So all I did was take this picture, go down, find me a shirt that I could buy. Y'all seeing this? Yeah. Okay. You can't go buy a shirt like this. These shirts are only given out. I know this because, I mean, I've got plenty of naval shirts that were given to me. You can't buy them. You cannot buy these shirts, guys. If anybody finds this shirt for sale somewhere, it's because either someone has sold it or they have donated it and got it from Goodwill or a third party. These shirts are not for sale. Mark my words. Okay? And if somebody finds it for sale out there, hey, definitely send it to me because I want to see. I want to see it. For tradesies, yeah. If anything, it should make you sick. Some of the stuff that we're learning, it should make you sick. So what was he doing out there? Was he a mole, a spy? Was he a rouse? Was he trying to blackmail people? Was he sent out there to do this business? I mean, what goes through your head when you see these e-files, right? Was he trying to convince people that he's got some insider information and he's going to get them whatever they want? I mean, this blows my mind. This blows my mind. I mean, how long has, this family owned DNA, make that picture go viral before it disappears? No, it's here. Anyone can take it. Take a screenshot. It's right off the Justice Department. I took the picture. I took the screenshot. It's right there. It's right there. Okay. I mean, I can do it live. You want me to go grab the picture? I can. I took the screenshot. You will always be able to find what you're looking for if you know what to find, what to look for. Now, this secret lab is a family owned lab in Florida that they have sent it to. A family owned DNA lab in South Florida has found itself at the center of a firestorm using key evidence. Whoops, sorry. I can't. It's the Palm Beach Post, and that's who they're using. I've never seen it before. That's wild. Yeah, it's there. Justice.gov. Here. Justice.gov. Anybody can go. If you don't know how to go look at these files, it's available to anyone. Okay, I'm not a robot. Powered by, yes, I'm over 18. Picture on boat. What was it? Okay, so there's pictures. I thought I did boat. No, something I did. I can't remember. I just took a picture of it. Took a screenshot. Those are emails. Sorry. There's also another data set you can go into that shows just pictures. Let me see where I went. Yeah. Sorry, I went to the wrong website again. Hold on. Justice.gov. Here it is. Share this. Library. I know there's another way. I pulled it up. It was attached to an email. I'll be here all day. But I took it. You guys can, here, I'll put it up there just by itself. You could take a screenshot. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, that's how you get there. Yes, it was in the release. Yes, it was. Take a picture of that and then take a picture closer. There you go. I mean, shoot. I know I'm wasting my skills, huh? All right. So, hey, thanks for joining. Keep in mind, we're going to keep sharing these. I'll come and give you some information if I learn anything more, especially on this little 3-year-old girl. I kind of smell something fishy, but I'm going to hold my thoughts until we learn more. The family hasn't put anything out that I have seen. Friends and family haven't said anything. There are people messaging me saying I live 2 blocks away, don't know what's going on. There's been no updates. There is no press conference for the Nancy Guthrie. And this was an hour ago. It looks like it's making the rounds in regards to everybody that's trying to find this 3-year-old little missing girl. And the information that I shared with you is quite alarming because there is a discrepancy of missing time, just like in the Nancy Guthrie case. So thanks for being here, y'all. I greatly appreciate you. Be kind. Show some love on the way out. Enjoy your weekend. You're so welcome. Thanks for being here, Gypsy, and all of you. I'm on the data of 11,000 photos. There's a lot of Oh, yeah, there are a lot of. Yeah. You're in data. Hold on. Let me just take a look. You're in data set 1. Oh my gosh. Remember, I started reading these and jumping on this, gosh, when they first came out, because I couldn't read after like a week. I was just like, I can't see any more of this. But then I started looking. Data file 1. Let me see. Hold on. Data file 1. Okay, hold on. There's court records, prior disclosures, videos. I can't remember how I got there before. Hold on. Full library. Found Bill in his dress. Found Bill. Oh, yeah, I saw that one too. I think he was trying to blackmail people, in my humble opinion, allegedly. because Nancy Grace, I heard she popped off on Sheriff. What did she say? Nancy Grace on Sheriff Nance? Oh, really? Maybe he's not willing to play the game, and that's why there's so much crap going on. Nancy Grace, let's see. Any videos? Nancy Grace on kidnapping. Roast Sheriff. Holy moly. I didn't see this one yet. Hold on.
House. We've got this mystery DNA. We've got ransom notes that may or may not be real, all of this stuff. So, what really stands out to you at this point in this investigation?
At this juncture, well, frankly, there's been a kick in the teeth, and that is the DNA found on the glove near Nancy Guthrie's home did not get a hit in CODIS. That is a big blow, but it's not the end. In fact, the investigation is really just beginning. I believe that the DNA inside the home is much more likely to be connected to the perpetrator than the DNA on a glove, a random glove found over a mile away from her home. There's no doubt in my mind that the perp left behind at least touch DNA, if not saliva DNA. I think right now that is the best lead. That has been sent now to genealogical testing, genetic genealogy. I believe that is a better bet than the glove.
Yeah. You have covered, thousands of cases. Does this one feel like it is a burglary gone wrong, or does it feel like a kidnapping for ransom, or does it feel like just something else?
Okay, a burglary gone wrong. Let's follow that through to the end. So, burglary, he sees Nancy Guthrie is home. Whoa, wait, you mean an elderly lady is in her home with the door closed and the lights off at 2 a.m.? That's really not a surprise. It doesn't sound like a burglary. But that said, the idea of a cat burglar is really for Cary Grant, right? That normally doesn't happen in real life, where you have the guy in the black turtleneck and the all black and the ninja outfit sneaking around while the person's asleep. Happens. Usually it's a wham bam, thank you ma'am. The person breaks in, steals electronics, steals whatever money they can find, steals whatever jewelry they can find, and hightails it. The last thing a burglar wants is to cart around an 84-year-old lady that has a hard time walking. Where this theory, burglary gone wrong, came from, I don't know, but it's bogus and it's a waste of time. No one should be pursuing that. That didn't happen.
So you lean more to kidnapping for ransom or something else here, because I hate that I even have to ask this question, but do you believe that Nancy is still alive?
I don't know, but have you found a body? Because I haven't heard anything about a body being found. Cadaver dogs were used far and wide in multiple locations. So right now, without proof that Nancy Guthrie has passed away, she's alive. Ideal in reality, not crazy, zany theory somebody posts on Twitter. Right now, Nancy Guthrie was taken for a reason. A burglar would not take her with them. Typically, when a burglar does break in and finds the occupant home, they turn tail and run. They don't want an encounter.
Okay, Nancy, then why did the authorities, that they're the only ones that can do that, why did they put her name in NamUs? Why did they put her name in NamUs? In case somebody comes across her dead body, they will have the ability to match it. Ask Nancy Grace why. I would love to know the answer. I would love to see her response to that. She knows how NamUs works, y'all.
Counter. Typically, burglars break in to steal, number one, rape, number two, and they leave the victim there, dead or alive. That didn't happen here. Do I think she's alive? Yes, I think she's alive. Yes, I know she doesn't have her medication, we think, but I have no reason to believe she's dead. That's just sheer speculation that she has passed away.
Now, the sheriff said that he believes it could be weeks, months, or years
before they find her. That's
right. What are your thoughts on that?
I know that Sheriff Nanos, in his wisdom, stated the case may take a year to solve. Why doesn't he stop talking? That's a big question right now. Does anybody know the answer to that? Do we need the FBI to take care of that too? To tell a group of men and women that are going 24/7, 365, blood, sweat, tears, trying to find Nancy Guthrie, it could take a year. And what do you think that means to the family? She could be passed away in a year. She's already 84. I don't know why he stuck his other foot in his mouth. I'm surprised there's room in there.
You know, the DNA from the glove didn't match anybody in the FBI's database. Is that shocking to you that there was not one hit?
Many have asked me, am I surprised that there was not a CODIS hit on the glove, the random glove found on the side of the road nearly 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home? No, I'm not surprised. What I will be surprised about is if through the use of genetic genealogy, we cannot find a trace of the perp from touch DNA or DNA left in the home. And when I'm asked, there wasn't even one hit. Well, it only takes one hit. And remember, when you're talking about genetic genealogy as opposed to a hit in CODIS, which is a national data bank, genetic genealogy goes all the way back to the people that floated over on the Mayflower. And it will be very difficult for me to believe that not one person since way back when has not had their DNA, either them, a distant relative, an aunt, a cousin, a child, a grandpa, a grandma, a grandchild, enter their DNA into one of the ancestry websites. Now, how does that work? Think of Joseph D'Angelo.
This is illegal. Stop using our DNA.
Infamous, the notorious Golden State Killer. He terrorized women, he raped, he killed for years. And he was a former cop, by the way, and moved jurisdictions. Why? He was so hard to catch. His DNA was entered into the genetic genealogy database. Bam! They got a hit. They narrowed it down to who in relation to whoever's in the database, what relative lives in the area. They narrowed it down to him. They watched him. They got his DNA off of his car handle when he went into Hobby Lobby and match, arrest, conviction. I'd be much more surprised if that didn't work than a random glove on the side of the road.
So you think that DNA is what's going to crack this case?
I believe that DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, will go a long way to cracking this case. But I believe in old school. Some call it gumshoe. I guarantee you, somebody knows who is holding Nancy Guthrie. There is a $200,000 reward. That's nearly $250,000. A girlfriend, an ex, a neighbor that hasn't put together 2 + 2 yet. And it will crack. And remember, wild speculation only hurts the investigation and the Guthrie family. And I'm talking specifically about our friend Savannah.
You know, we thought maybe there was some momentum happening with the doorbell video that we had, but now it seems like that has cooled off as well. What's your take on that? Is this like leads? No, kind of having these dead ends. Is that normal in your experience?
Many people have expressed their disappointment and their exhaustion in this case. You know what? Suck it up, little sister. That's what these cases are about. Yes, many people not in the business of solving crimes.
Suck it up, little sister. We're on to you.
Had their hopes dashed and proceeded as a setback, that the investigation lost momentum when nothing was obtained from the porch guy video. That is just the beginning of the investigation. An investigation of this nature is not a sprint. It's a marathon, and you have to have the guts and the backbone and the perseverance to keep on and not give up every time there's a setback. No case is ever solved on day one, and what you see at trial, that is the culmination of all the wins, all the fingerprints you did find, the DNA that did match, the eyewitnesses that did come forward. You don't hear about every setback, every time something didn't work out. Every investigation is full of false leads. Rarely do you get your guy on day one. That's the nature of this business.
Do you believe the person that we did see on that video, though, is the person who did something to Nancy Guthrie? I mean, we've only seen one person with the backpack and the glove on. Do you believe that's the person that did it? It was around the time that, her heart monitor separated from her Apple Watch. We've seen that person. That's who we're looking for.
Think that through. You think another guy showed up on the porch at 2:45 a.m. and her heart monitor was disconnected, the pacemaker disconnected from Bluetooth around 2 a.m. and now she's gone? Yes, that's the perp. That is the perp. He may be working with someone else or maybe an accomplice. I wouldn't be surprised about that because it's hard for me to believe the same guy that tried to put grass on the porch cam is the same guy, if they're connected, that wrote a fairly concise and eloquent ransom note. There may be an accomplice, but that's the guy.
I think about the fact that Savannah Guthrie, you mentioned her, has had to see that. You've seen the person that has your mother, if we all believe that is the case. She stepped away from the Today Show to be in Tucson this whole time. Does all this media attention surrounding her, because she is so high profile, does this help the case? Does it hurt the case?
The high profile nature of this case, largely because of Nancy's relation to her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, helps the case. As many naysayers like to point out, other missing people do not get this or this many resources. So it is helping the case. More resources, more eyes, more people interested, more people sleuthing. Yes, it helps the case. I only wish every case could get this much attention.
We know that you have been through this with a fine-tooth comb, Nancy. So is there anything else that's significant to you? And what is your gut telling you right now about this case?
I believe the case will be solved. I think we will find who took Nancy Guthrie. But I still believe that this is a race against the clock. We have to find her quickly. much they clean that vehicle, they're not get rid of all the blood. A vehicle makes all the difference. Do I have to say, Brian Koberger? We know the DNA helped the case, crack the case, but it all started with an idea of an Elantra, and white Elantra, and that went over to WSU, Washington State University in Pullman, their local deputy dog at the campus police. He ran a white Elantra, and Koberger's name came up at the get-go. Then you've got Molly Tibbetts, a young woman jogging college student. You know how they apprehended that perp? Because of a black Chevy Malibu caught on video. That's how important this gray truck is tonight. That and the DNA are what we need to focus on. We've got a physical description. It's loose. A guy, 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", dark hair, did have a mustache, did have facial hair, probably not anymore. But it's the DNA that will carry the day. And another thing, why I think they were looking at Carlos Palazuelos, I believe what you and I talked about on night one, Sean, CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, I think they picked up Palazuelos' cell phone in and out of that neighborhood, identified him, and then swooped in and got him. So they are working the phone angle. I know that for a fact.
Well, I know without the FBI there, they'd never pay. And the Pima County Sheriff even said early on in a press conference that they would not have no access to any videotapes. He did say that. I hate this turf war thing. The glove seems to be the main thing. You remember early on, there was one neighbor that reported that in the days leading up to this abduction, that there was a white truck, white, gray, I don't know, different, but maybe close enough, that had been on the street, which seemed out of place. Maybe we go back to that point and maybe we find that white truck.
Well, interesting, something that you brought up about that white vehicle, and that was, it was parked in the neighborhood. Nobody could identify it as being theirs. Didn't know whose it was. And if it was a repair person on the back, nothing. So what was it and why was it there? And again, there is no coincidence in criminal law. And if that white or gray vehicle was parked on the street and people had noticed it days in advance before Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped, and now they're looking for a gray vehicle, I think that's very probative, Sean.
Yeah. All right. So the glove, hopefully we get the DNA. Hopefully they might get a match. And hopefully the FBI and local law enforcement can put aside their differences and their egos and work together for the good of finding.
Like I said, they know more than they're telling us. Y'all have a great night. I agree. The more you scream, the more you have to hide. Shame on Fox for bringing this. Yeah, I agree. Yep, they could have said more than one perp as a getaway driver, and they could have shared this information. Look at that face. Don't you just love Nancy Grace? But think about it. They knew more than they let on. The longer they could let this rouse go, the longer, and hopefully they will find this individual before everyone else does. They don't want anyone interfering with their case, but they know way more than they're leading on. They know way more, just like this picture. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Be well.
Can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. We turn the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifting, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. A shift to arise, pure justice. A lady justice.